Hi, welcome to my English process analysis project. So today I'll be going over how to build a base in Halo Wars, so for me, I've played hundreds of hours of this game. Just this version, I've played about 150 hours of. There's multiple versions of the game. Each version I have many hours in. So I have built many bases in my time in this game. So the supplies you would need in order to do what I am doing in this video is any copy of Halo Wars, any version. There's many different versions. And then obviously an Xbox that would work with your copy, and an Xbox controller to work with your Xbox. That'd be it. So just obviously play Halo Wars. That'd be all you'd need to do. So to get right into this, hit the start button here. We're gonna fire up a skirmish match because I'm not gonna worry about anything else in the game. We're just gonna do AI match. I want the map Blood Gulch. So I like to use the D-pad, which is, I'll bring up a controller diagram if you want to learn controls. Right now it shows at the bottom of the screen all the other buttons I can hit. Left stick actually works perfectly for controlling the menu stuff. But we can just start game right into this. This is perfect. We got Arbiter Alien on easy, and I'm playing as Captain Cutter. So, easy, standard, Blood Gulch. Everything's good. Alright. Hit start game. It says it right there, that button. Wait for this to load up. And then I'm going to go over controls. So first off, here's our base, but the same button you use to start the match, the 3-line button, hit that again. It will pause the match when you're playing against the AI. I'm going to go to the control diagram, which this looks a bit confusing, but just showing you your Xbox controller and then every button, what it does in the game. We don't need to worry about the vast majority of the things on the screen today. We're just going to do camera on the left, rotate camera on the right, and then select and cancel are the only buttons that we're going to worry about. Everything else is for controlling units, which we're not worrying about controlling units at all today. So left thumb, when you're holding an Xbox controller, can go on your left stick, which is where it says camera on that left stick, and then that will control my camera, or it goes left to right. Right thumb typically goes on the rotate camera on the right stick, which that just spins my camera. I'll show the difference after I get out of the screen. And then you move your right thumb over to the select and cancel buttons, A, B. And I'll be saying A, B as we go along, and left thumb. And then when we get into the base building menus, we'll move the left stick, the camera button, or the camera stick, left thumb, up and down and into certain spots to build certain buildings. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So, obviously, bottom left corner says B for back. That'd be our cancel button over there. That backs us out of this screen. And then B again will back us into the game. Or you can hit A on resume, either or. I like to hit B. And then left stick, left thumb moves my camera to the left to right like this. Whereas the right stick one rotates my camera, which is different. So if I move it, it does this. See how it rotates and it keeps my center point the same? Whereas the left stick will move my center point. Right stick will keep it the same while rotating around it. So I like to look at my base like this. So I keep the front of the base is right here, is this opening. The back of the base is where you always find these 3 build slots right here. So I like to look at my bases from the front. So I rotate my camera to right about here. It doesn't need to be perfect. And step 1. So far everything in our process is just kind of learning how to play the game if you don't know. But if you do know how to play the game, what I like to do for a base is step 1, defense. I almost always buy the turret right here. So these corners at the base are all turret slots, which is for defending your base against the enemy, which our enemy is the purple enemy base right over here, which actually looks almost the same. They have building slots, they have turret slots. It's to keep the game fair. So if you look at my base, I like to go to my front right turret slot, hit A, and then you go up on the left stick, and then you hit A again to build it. So that costed me $250. So if you look at the price here, I see 0 lightning bolts, and I see 250 of the boxes. So we call those supplies, is the boxes, and then the lightning bolts is reactor power. So a turret doesn't cost me any reactor power, but it does cost me 250 supplies. So you can see in the top right corner is my mini map, which shows me everything on the map when I'm playing the game, including the enemy base over here. It does not show me where everything is right now because there's a thing called Fog of War, which just keeps this map dark except for where I can see. I can see where the light is. So, and the thing up to the left to the mini map, is how many supplies I have, how much reactor power I have, and how many units I have. We're not going to worry about units at all today. It says 1 out of 30 because I have this little Jeep right here. It's called a Warthog in Halo. Hit A on him. But we're not going to worry about controlling units at all. Today we're just going to worry about what buildings to put on your base and what I have found is the best strategy to do so. So, we need to get money rolling in. Supplies, the boxes. So when you build, the first build slot I almost always pick is this one. And then I always pick supply pads, because this is the only way to really make money in the game. And so I'll hit A on this. I moved my left stick up to the right to select the different buildings. This would be to the right, this would be down to the right, down to the left, left, up to the left. If that makes sense. So up to the right, I pick my supply pads. Now, the base has something called a build queue, which means it can never build more than one building at a time. So if I buy another supply pad right now, it's just going to sit here, and if I actually click A on it, it'll show me how much closer it is to being done, which it's at 0% and hasn't even started building, because this one's not done. That voice telling me this one is done, now this one's starting building. So what I found is the best strategy, and the vast majority of players of this game always put 4 supply pads on their base. Obviously, when you're later in the game, things can get a bit different, or you may just want to build a base real quick and add a certain building on it. But at the beginning of the game, we almost always put 4 supply pads on our base. So, and we put them right here. And then these 3 building slots we save for more important buildings. So I'll let those sit for a little bit. But in the meantime, there's a difference in characters in this game. So depending on which character you're playing as, kind of determines what buildings we put back here. Since I'm playing as Captain Cutter, and he's the default character to play as, anytime you load up this game, I'll always have you be playing as Captain Cutter, unless you change it yourself. So, assuming you don't change your character and you keep it as Captain Cutter, the best building to put right here as Captain Cutter is always the barracks. Because each character has a unique special unit to them, and Captain Cutter's unique special unit is found within the barracks. Therefore, building a barracks in the top left corner is always the most important thing for Captain Cutter. For every base, pretty much, regardless of character, regardless of team, even if you're on the enemy team, their buildings work almost the exact same. So this back middle building, or build slot, is where I almost always put the equivalent to a reactor. So when you're playing as the humans and Captain Cutter, we always put a reactor back here. So that, again, A button on here, you can see it on screen, and then left stick to the right, and A. To build it. But we always put a reactor back here. Oh, forgot to mention, step 2 is supplies, step 3 barracks, step 4 reactor. Obviously, one of the aliens is attacking me here for a second, which that just may happen. This game's in real time, so I have to... he shot at and damaged my 2 supply pads over here. That's okay. That's why we put a turret up, in case they actually stay here to attack. Regardless, so step 1, turret, step 2, supply pads, step 3, barracks, step 4, nuclear reactor. And the reason I do them in this order is because I like to have the turret up first, so that if I get attacked right away, if I get rushed, we call that getting rushed, the turret will start shooting at him, defend my base. My step 2 is just to get money rolling. Obviously, getting money rolling is very important. Step 3, I always build a barracks, because you can build a barracks without any reactor power. Because if I go back in here, the price for a barracks is 0 reactor, 150, which means I can build it before I ever build a nuclear reactor. And step 5 would then be the reactor. Step 6, the reason I have to wait until my final step is to build a field armory. Which, for other characters, is sometimes not the best to build a field armory, but for Captain Cutter, it is always better to build a field armory. That's my opinion. But step 6, that'd be my... not my final step. That'd be step 7 would be just filling up the rest of these base building slots, or turret slots. It's like this. And then that would basically be a done base. From there, I just keep playing the game how I know how to play it. And I can make this, longer and explain what other things I would do in Halo Wars and how to win a game, which I think I will just continue this and make it 2 separate videos. But regardless, this would be the end of my process analysis, because I've done my step 1, turret defense, step 2 supplies, and then step 3 barracks, step 4 reactor, step 5 field armory, step 6 would be my rest of my turret slots, which the turret slots also have a build queue. The next thing would also be controlling units, learning how to do that, but that would be probably something for another time. Alright, and thank you.